Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to give you my 5 biggest overreactions after the Raiders' 27-11 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars in the NFL Hall of Fame game. I'm excited about these shows because I can be hot takey. I can get spicy here. And if I sound hungover, it's because I am. Let's go to the first one here. It's Brandon Parker blows. I mean, this guy was trash yesterday. I get the idea that they're putting him at left tackle. Alex Leatherwood absolutely is a big-time winner. He played in 16 snaps. I've seen a few other sources out there say that, all right, he gave up 2 sacks. I've seen a few other places that said he gave up 3 sacks. In 16 snaps, 3 pressures, 2 or 3 sacks. That's terrible. I actually got a live photo of Brandon Parker during the game yesterday because this is what it was like. Ole, 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 ole. I mean, it was just terrible to watch. I get it was Jarrett Stidham, but I have said multiple times, we have an amazing supporting cast next to Derek Carr. You can't put Brandon Parker on the field next to Carr. Why? That's like driving a car without any car insurance. If he goes down, the season's over. You better not put Brandon Parker out on the field if DC's the QB. Now, in terms of some other offensive linemen that personally I was impressed by, I could have also added Andre James to this list, but Leatherwood to me played really well. I was going to say riding him, but that probably is not a great way to say it. I've been riding Leatherwood really hard this offseason because he struggled. He looked good. He's going to be your right tackle. Dylan Parham, I thought, looked good. Lester Cotton was bowling people over. The holes that he was creating for Josh Jacobs, Zamir White, Walter to run through, pretty damn impressive. So as far as I'm concerned, there was a report that came out, I think it was last week, that this is Brandon Parker's job to lose. Well, guess what? It's lost. It's gone. Brandon Parker is not going to be starting for the Raiders this upcoming season. So here's my question to all of you. Do you think that this is going to be the starting offensive line up against the Los Angeles Chargers come week 1? Kolton Miller at left tackle, John Simpson at left guard, Andre James at center, Lester Cotton at right guard, and then Alex Leatherwood at right tackle. Because the right side of the line yesterday, James included, I was impressed by. So let me know, y'all, down in the comments section. We're going to make this the pinned comment on today's show, so I want to see all y'all. Y for yes, N for no. You're going to get hit with a YouTube ad break here, so is this going to be the Raiders' starting offensive line? Jarrett Stidham, he's the quarterback too. Lock it in. That's an overreaction. It might be, but it also might not be. Stidham, to me, led very successful drives, and sure, only one of them ended in a touchdown, and 2 of them ended in with field goals. But you know what? 8 of 15, 96 yards. He also had a nice little rushing touchdown there. Nick Mullens was 8 of 11 for 72. Chase Garbers 4 of 6 for 35. What I looked for, though, was the command of the offense, the overall intelligence when he was in the huddle, how all the players were moving around, and the play selection that Josh McDaniels, Bo Hardegree was going with. Because when Nick Mullens was out there, hell, the first snap, Nick Mullens botches it. It was looking like he was shitting bricks out there. And when he was on the field, it was a lot more screens. When it came to Stidham, you could just flat out see the overall confidence and his ability to be able to run this offense compared to the other guys, it was through the roof. So to me, Jarrett Stidham is the quarterback too going forward. And he was so much more impressive than Garbers and Mullens that they might only just keep 2 quarterbacks. Now, if you guys are looking for free Raiders videos or your one-stop shop, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. We were live yesterday for 4 hours. Had a great time. Shout out to all y'all who tuned in. We go live every single Tuesday. We're going to be doing watch parties the entire year, but if you need more Raiders content in your life, get it in those veins and hit that subscribe button. The next thing coming up here for my overreactions after the Raiders' 27-11 win over Jacksonville, Josh Jacobs. Is a career year coming for this young man. He has led the Las Vegas Raiders in rushing the past 3 seasons, and he's been good. Yesterday, he looked like a man possessed. He looked leaner. He looked strong. He was running aggressively. Hell, there was a few runs that he had. 5 carries, 30 yards. That's an average of 6.0 yards per carry. 2 catches for 14. There were a few times I was like, Josh, be careful, man. You were running physical. And we know that he's that physical back. We know that he can be that battering ram where he lowers the boom and he hits someone and you're like, oh, man, right? Ask that Atlanta Falcons defender that he absolutely blew up 2 seasons ago. Josh is a hell of a player. That 5th year got declined. I think he's walking around with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And for the first time in maybe over a year, his running lanes were wide open. He finished the season strong. He looked really freaking good. Is he battling for a job? Yes. Zamir White, I was also impressed by his ability. 11 carries for 52 yards. Austin Walter, who was just signed, 8 carries for 49 yards and a touchdown. Sure, it came a little bit later on. Kenyan Drake did leave momentarily with an injury. I've been told he's okay. And I thought Ameer Abdullah ran well. But anytime you enter your final year of your contract and it's a running back position, because realistically, you're probably only going to get one more chance to get a big deal. This is Jacobs' year. McDaniels is going to want to go with a running back by committee. That's going to happen. But if Jacobs runs the way that he did last night, I'm all for the committee. But I also want to win some football games, and that's going to be on the back of Josh Jacobs. So when I looked at the offense, again, impressed by the way that the team opened up some running lanes. I like the idea. I thought John Simpson did a pretty good job in the running game. It was hard to be able to evaluate him early on because of how much a disaster Parker was on the left side. Andre James opened up some good running lanes. I was impressed by Lester Cotton. I was impressed by Alex Leatherwood. That right side of the offensive line yesterday. Shit, even Jermaine Illuminor all played pretty darn well. All right, y'all, if you're a real one, die-hard Raider fans out there, best fans in all of sports, we got a brand new shirt for you, and it stands for Real Ones for Life. If you bleed silver and black, if you believe that it's womb to the tomb, then go to chatsports.com/RO4L. It stands for Real Ones for Life, and if you believe that you're going to be rooting for the Raiders your entire life, get this t-shirt right now. It's going to be available for y'all in the comments and in the description of today's video. And if you actually get one, take a picture of it, send it to me, because I'm going to start putting some people up on screen. Let's go to my next overreaction here after the Jags game. Demarcus Robinson. Is he a cut candidate? I have brought this up more over the past 2 weeks because of some information that I was given from reports that came out. And even though it was hard to evaluate the wide receiver talent, because as far as I'm concerned, not that I don't care how the receivers look, but there's a difference between Jarrett Stidham and Derek Carr. Breaking news. But what I gathered was the starting roster went out there for that first drive, for that first series. It was Mack Hollins, Tyron Johnson, Keelan Cole. All 3 of those receivers were over Demarcus Robinson. And if this is going to be a team that keeps only 5 receivers, that might mean Robinson's going to be the odd man out. In terms of overall stats from the wide receivers yesterday, Tyron Johnson led the way with 5 targets, 2 catches, 39 yards. Keelan Cole, 1 grab for 31. He got hit really, really hard in the head. Luckily, he's okay. He was actually laughing on the sidelines after. Robinson, 2 for 17. Turner, 1 for 5. Matt Collins didn't do much, had a catch, and went nowhere, -1. What I will say is this. Even though I liked what I saw out of Keelan Cole, I was impressed by Tyron Johnson. I thought Matt Collins and Johnson did a good job on special teams. But that 40-yard touchdown, and I don't know if the yardage is exactly right, but he dropped the touchdown. Stidham threw a freaking dime to him, back of right in front of the end zone, right near the pylon on the left side of the field. It was right there. Hands, you got to come down with that one, because what it really does come down to is if I'm a coach and everything's neck and neck and I want to have you on the field to be a field stretcher to take that top off of defense, and you drop a ball like that, if that's the regular season, that's a backbreaker, and that shit can't happen. So if you had to cut one, y'all, who would you get rid of? Would you move on from Keelan Cole, type 84, Matt Collins, type 10, Demarcus Robinson, type 11, or would you cut Tyron Johnson, type 1? If you would keep all 4 of them, then please spam keep in the comments. All right, let's go to the final overreaction here. The Raiders have a top 10 secondary. Pause. I understand that a lot of the backups were out there. It's true. Nate Hobbs, he's incredible to me. I was impressed by Darius Phillips. I really, truly thought secondary, or the second team, the third team, from top to bottom, they played well. Patrick Graham was throwing all different kind of schemes at them. They were doing 3 fronts, 4 fronts, 5 fronts. They were doing man. They played zone. Hell, they were even doing hybrid coverages where you were mixing in some zone and man in there. I loved from what I saw from all the cornerbacks. I thought Bryce Cosby looked really good. I was impressed by Sam Webb. Tyree Gillespie laid the wood there a few different times, but realistically, we heard all off season how sticky is the term Derek Carr's been using about the Raiders secondary. They looked like they understood Graham's system. They looked like that they had a lot of stuff going for them. And honestly, I loved all the different looks. That's what Patrick Graham's going to bring. And the roster looked pretty darn good. Now, before I wrap up today's show, I am hungover, and it's thanks to a lot of y'all who watch the show, but especially these guys right here. These were some of the biggest super chats. I figured I'd put all the ones that were over $100 on here. Shout out to everyone who watched. I walked in today, Jeremy and I, it was like a hangover part 4, and it's hitting me a little bit differently. But from the bottom of my heart and bottom of Jeremy's heart here, we want to say thank you for supporting the show. We're going to be bringing the fire. We're going to be bringing the intensity the entire season. And I know, we look hungover, but it's because we are. And again, thank you. We've been laughing about all the crazy shit that went on in yesterday's show. But if you chatted, keep them coming. We're going to keep bringing the energy. We know you got that commitment to excellence, and so do we.